I'm Linda Sankey, the Communications Officer with Get Ireland Walking. With researcher Dylan Power, we're going to shine a light on the many individuals in Ireland who live, work and play in the walking space. I'm here today chatting to Charlie Burke. Charlie is the Recreation Officer with Coillte and somebody that I've been lucky enough to work with for the last year, and I'm really excited to have him on to chat some really amazing things that Charlie's done. So, Charlie, do you want to tell me a little, or tell the listeners as well, a little bit about yourself?
I am Recreation Officer with Coillte. I have worked in many other parts of Coillte, but in 2010 I joined the Coillte Recreation team. Around that time, I saw a journal from the Outdoor Recreation Network. I read about a program in Scotland called Branching Out, and I contacted Kevin Lafferty in the Forest Commission and discussed the possibility of starting a similar program here in Ireland. I spoke to the head of recreation, Bill Murphy, at the time, and discussed it with him. He agreed that it was something I could try, and I approached a number of funders and ended up getting funding from Mental Health Ireland to start the programme. We started the programme in East Wicklow and it was evaluated in 2014 by UCD and the HSE. Following the evaluation, an article was written by Sylvia Thompson in the Irish Times. When that article was written, I was contacted by Dunleary Rathdown Sports Partnership as they wished to do something similar. In 2014, we started our programme in Dunleary Rathdown, and shortly after I became aware of funding which is available from Sport Ireland. I applied for the funding with Mental Health Ireland as a partner, and we succeeded in getting funding to run the programme in other counties. We now have the programme running in 10 counties, and there are other counties, hopefully post-COVID. There are eight counties on the list to wishing to start our programs. So it's gone from being a program in East Wicklow to nationwide. I myself live with the diagnosis of bipolar disorder. I'm a HSE patient. I run the Wicklow Mental Health Association. I have been a board member of Mental Health Ireland for 6 years. And my background has led me into this. As a HSE patient, had benefited, I wish for other HSE patients to benefit. So it's not purely my interest in being a Coillte Recreation Officer. It's also as a HSE patient and somebody who's lived with bipolar condition since I was 21, which is 35 years ago. So that's my background really, Linda. And it's been a nice journey for the last couple of years, and it's been very exciting because Mental Health Ireland, when they provided the initial funding, they were most interested in getting it developed in other parts of the country. I never thought that it would go beyond Wicklow, but my dream has become a reality.
Which is brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. I think as well what's brilliant is that for you, you've been able to mix professional and personal together. Coillte are obviously very supportive employees, but also the Woodlands programme sounds like it makes a massive difference to people, to their lives.
Well, the programme it's a referral programme, and the participants are referred to the programme by their healthcare team, which would be typically a psychiatrist, a community mental health nurse, or an occupational therapist. And when they are referred to the programme, they start the programme initially at a pace that suits everybody, because if a person is slow and other people run ahead, it's most likely that after 2 or 3 sessions that participants would drop out. Yeah. And we really want to make sure that everybody's catered for and it's inclusive. The programme takes place over a 12-week period, and there's a pre and post assessment at a number of occasions during the 12 weeks in order to evaluate the progress for participants and indeed for the programme. The link with Mental Health Ireland and Get Ireland Walking, Sport Ireland, is a very important link because we're three partners delivering the programme through the sports partnerships in each of the counties. The walks themselves are supported by a person from the sports partnership, somebody from Mental Health Ireland, somebody from the HSE, and a walk leader from Coillte. It's a nature-based intervention. It's really a green prescription walking in the woodland environment, and it is so much better than walking in a built environment and in a grey environment. Walking by the sea and walking into forests has been shown to have significant better outcomes for anybody in any walk of life. A walk in the forest and a walk by the sea is hugely beneficial because your mind gets to relax and you hear the bird sounds, listen to the trees, you can watch the wildlife. There is so much to enjoy in the forest. It's something we can all enjoy.
Yeah, and I think lockdown anyway, you become very aware of what you can and can't get to.
As I said earlier, in 2014, the programme was evaluated by the UCD and the HSE. The findings were significant. 82% reduction in suicidal thoughts, 66% sleep improvement, improvement in mood, improvement across 24 attributes. There was one increase, and that was due with obsessiveness. And it's nice that walking has become an obsession with many of these people. That when they finish the programme, they move on to other programmes that are run by Get Ireland Walking in their communities. And the national programmes have been evaluated by University of Limerick and Go Green. Dr. Ty McIntyre has done much of the evaluation with the support of Mental Health Ireland. Well, the beauty of my job is that it's so diverse. There are the walking programmes. I also coordinate a national programme called the Green Ribbon Campaign. It's with Sea Change. They're an organisation that fights the stigma that there is attached to mental illness. I work with Mental Health Ireland and the Irish Farmers Association to deliver that. And there are a number of partners that are locally based in each of the counties that the programme takes place. I've run this programme in 14 counties, and the other parts of my job are I do administration for recreation. We do recreation for the nation. We have 260 walking trails throughout the country, 11 forest parks, mountain bike trails, orienteering, wheelchair orienteering. We have a very wide scope, and during COVID, along with the designated sites that we have for recreation, we also have 600 forests where people can visit nationwide. During COVID, these were a huge asset to people, and the visitor numbers have increased dramatically, being 30% higher than last year, and so in some areas more than 40%. So walking, we've really got our legs out these days and got to enjoy walking. Other parts of my job are web-based. I do the recreation content on our website, inputs into Facebook, working with Coillte Ireland on tourism. We're in the middle of a big project in Wicklow at the moment, which is part funded by Coillte Ireland and Coillte, and develop a forestry exhibit, as Avondale was the original plantation which took place in 1904 when we acquired the land from Parnell family.
Yeah, brilliant. One of the things I've been asking people is what they wear when they go walking.
I wear my fleece. Besides when I go to bed at night time, when I'm working, I always wear my fleece because it's comfortable. It's comfortable in the office. It's comfortable in the car. And when I get to the woods, it's great because it's light and I'm recognisable as working for Coillte when I'm wearing it. And I have found over the years now, since I started in recreation, that fleeces of various types appeal to me now. As before, I used to wear woolly jumpers and anoraks and all that kind of stuff. And the fleeces now are something that I wear all the time.
Nice and comfy. Do you wear hiking boots when you're out and about during the day?
I would wear trek shoes.
Okay.
I have a lovely set of eco trek shoes, and they're very good. And I also have mountain walking boots as well. Occasionally these days, I would have done it more in the years gone by. I do some hill walking in the Wicklow Mountains as well, and I've walked in a number of European countries as well for charity, which would be in Italy, in Tuscany, in the Black Forest in Germany, and in Morzy and Avrays in France. My boots get a bit of wear at home and away.
Fantastic. One of my questions is your proudest walking achievements. Was it one of those trips?
Yeah, my proudest trip was the one in 2002 in Italy. I was to raise €2,500, and I raised in excess of €4,000.
Congratulations.
Which was a good sum. It was my first big walk, and to walk along the wine fields in Tuscany.
Wow.
In an area called Montepulciano, which is a wine much enjoyed by Irish people now.
That sounds familiar.
And the rolling hills, it was just a beautiful walk. In fact, I have another story to relate with regard to that walk. We got a deal from Aware to fly with British Airways, and we flew to London, and we flew from London to Bologna in a separate flight. When they arrived, my luggage had gone missing.
Oh no!
My new walking poles, which cost a fortune at the time, and all my gear. So I only had what I stood up in. Very first day I went out, we had thunder and lightning and heavy rain. And I thought, oh my God, what are we in for?
Oh, no.
British Airways provided me with a pack, and 3 days later my luggage arrived.
Brilliant.
And I covered 120 kilometres that week with some very lovely people who I'm still in contact with. So that was really my very favourite. I'd gone to Germany and France on other occasions, but there wasn't the same bond as we had on that particular walk. All the walks were for Aware to help them fight depression as an illness in Ireland, and they are the leading organisation deal with depression.
Brilliant. Fair play to you. Your favourite walk in maybe local to you in Wicklow or in Ireland?
My very favourite walk, my very favourite place to go is Ard Forest Park.
Okay.
It's up over Little Kenny and near the village of Dunfanaghy. And the walk up there is so special because it has a beach on one side of the forest. And it's a beautiful gold beach, as nice as Brittas Bay in Wicklow, which is a very popular place for people from Dublin and from Wicklow. But to walk up in Ard Forest Park, you get to, from one point, to enjoy the nature, the hills, and on the other side, to walk on one of the most beautiful beaches in Ireland. If you get the sun in Donegal, there is no place quite like it in the world. National Walking Day took place last September. It was organised by Get Ireland Walking with partners like Coillte, Waterways Ireland and other bodies. Many people who had never had a passion for walking have discovered walking as something that benefits them in many ways, not only physically but mentally also. It was just amazing. I was going to Westport one time with a friend, and she was reading from a Discover Ireland booklet that walking in Ireland was a relatively new activity.
Oh.
That was in the year 2000, and walking had just become an activity at that stage, according to Discover Ireland.
Oh my God.
Well, walking has become a major aspect of why people visit Ireland. More people come to Ireland now for activity holidays than for any other reason. walking, hiking, swimming, mountain biking, all that kind of activity, which wasn't here really, but was developed by many bodies, including Coillte. Particularly in the last 10 years, there's been an explosion of activity and offerings by Coillte, Waterways Ireland, Get Ireland Walking, Mountaineering Ireland. There are so many organisations now involved, and it's great to see most counties have local sport partnerships, which are a great asset. And park runs and Fit for Life, all these programs have cropped up in the last 10 years. And it's marvellous because, you know, we all need exercise of one form or another. And many people have become very sedentary, including myself. Like when I'm at work, I would spend maybe 20 hours a week at the desk. Then in the evening, I might watch the television for an hour or two. But a lot of people, particularly during COVID times, were lucky to continue working, including myself, through COVID. And we're working from home with laptops and other devices. We have become a very sedentary society over the years. And we were never meant to sit behind computers, laptops, smartphones, iPads, whatever else. Because when I was growing up, I used to go to my forest across the fields to play, to swing out of a tree, to just enjoy myself. And nature was something that we always enjoyed, which is only something that children now are finding, that nature has that value. The STEP challenge was we set up 4-member teams, and across the company there's diversity. So we had somebody from harvesting, somebody from engineering, somebody from recreation, some people from HR. We made up our teams of different parts of the company, to basically get to know each other and to have a challenge. I myself wasn't great at it. I didn't put in as many steps, but people had put in as many as 140,000 steps a week, which is quite significant, you know.
That's a huge amount. My God.
When you're talking about 20,000 steps a day, I know I got my Fitbit as a gift. And the most I've ever done is 18,000 in a day.
That's a great idea, though, for people to...
Well, this time around...
Brilliant. When's that starting?
It'll be starting in September. Well, something else I do with Coillte, actually. I started working on this with Mental Health Ireland. It's the 5,000 steps to well-being.
Yes.
And the 5,000 steps, each 1,000 steps has a purpose. The first 1,000 steps is to take notice of your environment all around you. The next 1,000 steps would be to learn, to talk about the nature, and to talk about tree planting. And then the next one would be to get active, and that would be walking fast, striding. I've always used somebody from the Irish Heart Foundation to do that piece. Also to give and take notice. So the walk is centred around those. I'll be doing a number of those in Avondale Forest Park this year. And it's amazing how lonely people find walking. Like particularly people who live in rural parts of the country that wouldn't walk alone, but will walk in groups, particularly ladies, security walking numbers and the chats and the walks and the talks. And, you know, it's something that I've seen around my town, which is Town. We have a lot of relief roads. We live by the sea, by the forest. But one of the things that I was very disappointed about was I wasn't able to get to my forest. It wasn't in my 5K. There's lighthouse walks and cliff walks and river walks.
Lovely.
Walks that I hadn't realised were on my doorstep.
Brilliant. That's really good.
It's just a pity the forest were outside my zone, and British Bay Beach, which would be my other favourite place to walk.
The last time I was in British Bay, I was a child, literally. So I've really enjoyed talking to Charlie And thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you again in person at some point later on this year. So thanks a million, Charlie.
Thanks, Linda, and thanks for all your help and support.
Thank you.